Have you ever said yes when every part of you wanted to say no? You smiled, you helped, you showed up, you made sure everyone else was okay. Then you went home completely exhausted, wondering why no one ever seemed to ask how you were doing. You call it kindness. But what if it's something else? What if the very thing you believe makes you a good person is quietly draining your life? Imagine this. A friend asks for a favor. You're already overwhelmed, you're tired, you barely have time for yourself. But before you've even thought about it, the words leave your mouth. Of course. The moment the conversation ends, you regret it. Not because you don't care about them, but because once again, you chose everyone else over yourself. That's the strange thing about people pleasing. Most people don't even realize they're doing it. They think they're simply being nice, but there's a quiet difference between kindness and people-pleasing. Kindness is a choice. People-pleasing feels like a requirement. One comes from generosity. The other often comes from fear. Fear of disappointing someone. Fear of conflict. Fear that saying no might make people stop choosing you. And here's the part nobody talks about. People pleasers aren't always trying to make other people happy. Sometimes, they're trying to avoid feeling guilty, because guilt feels so uncomfortable that saying yes becomes easier than facing the discomfort of saying no. Take a moment with this. Think about the last time you agreed to something you didn't want to do. Did you say yes because you truly wanted to, or because you were afraid of what saying no might cost you? For many people, this pattern didn't appear overnight. Maybe you grew up being the easy child, the one who kept the peace. Without realizing it, you learned that your needs could wait. Other people's needs came first. Over time, that stopped being something you did. It became who you believed you had to be. The helper, the listener, the person everyone could depend on. But who was taking care of you? Here's something worth remembering. The people who truly care about you don't need you to disappear just to make them comfortable. Healthy relationships aren't built on constant self-sacrifice. They're built on honesty. Sometimes honesty sounds like, "I can't today. I'm not comfortable with that. I need some time for myself." Those words aren't selfish. They're boundaries. And boundaries don't push the right people away. They reveal who expected unlimited access to you in the first place. That's uncomfortable to accept, because sometimes the people who complain the loudest when you change were benefiting the most from the old version of you. Here's another one to sit with. Imagine saying no, without apologizing, without making up an excuse, without feeling guilty afterward. How would your life change? Here's the biggest misunderstanding about people pleasing. It isn't proof that you're kind. It's proof that somewhere along the way, your brain started believing your worth depended on keeping everyone else comfortable. But your worth was never something you had to earn. You don't become more valuable every time you sacrifice yourself, and you don't become less lovable every time you protect your peace. So maybe this week, don't try to become a completely different person. Just practice one honest no, one boundary, one moment where you choose yourself without apologizing for it. Because every time you do, you're teaching your brain something new. That disagreement isn't rejection. That disappointing someone isn't the end of a relationship. That your needs matter too. And one day you'll realize something beautiful. The people who truly love you never needed the version of you who said yes to everything. They were waiting for the real you, the one who finally understands. You don't have to earn your place in people's lives by giving away yourself. This made you see something in yourself. You're not alone in it. Subscribe, there's more waiting to be decoded.